32 in 32 Summer Series, Buffalo Sabres in NHL Draft Recap and Prospect Analysis. The Buffalo Sabres, a summer analysis you can't afford to miss. The ongoing saga of the Buffalo Sabres is one that's both intriguing and frustrating, with a team experiencing yet another season of struggles. Picture this, a team that racked up the year with 79 points, landing squarely in that dreaded tweener zone. Not poor enough to land the coveted top draft pick, yet not competitive enough to vie for a playoff spot. And unless significant changes emerge from general manager Kevin Adams, it seems like the Sabres might be stuck in this no-fun zone once again. When you look at their rivals in the rebuilding game, Ottawa, Montreal, and Detroit, it becomes evident that they are making strides towards playoff contention, while the Sabres continue to spin their wheels. This season could very well see them plummet towards the bottom of the Atlantic Division once again. So, what's the current state of the team, particularly in light of their latest draft picks and offseason activities? A review of the NHL Draft. In this year's draft, the Sabres secured a range of promising prospects who could potentially shift the team dynamics moving forward. First round, 9th overall, Radim Mrtka, defenseman in WHL. Mrtka made a smooth transition from the Czech League to the WHL, proving that he can excel in North American hockey. Standing at an impressive 6 feet and 6 inches and weighing 207 pounds, this defenseman possesses an impressive skill set that fits the professional game. While not primarily known for his shooting, he excels at defensive play, using smart positioning and physicality to break up offensive attempts. Mrtka is likely to develop into a top-pair defenseman, making him a potential asset alongside Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin in the future. Last season's stats from Seattle show he played 43 games, racking up 35 points. Third round, 71st overall, David Bedkowski, defenseman in OHL. This pick continues the theme of big-bodied defensemen for Buffalo. At 6'5" and 215 pounds, Bedkowski distinguishes himself with a rugged playing style. After being traded midseason from the Oshawa Generals, he embraced a leadership role with the Owen Sound attack. His physicality makes him a nightmare for opponents, capable of throwing big hits and breaking up plays along the boards. An ideal projection for him would be as a reliable third-pairing defenseman in the NHL, contributing greatly to defensive efforts. Fourth round, 103rd overall, Matos Kucharczyk, center, Czech U20. Kucharczyk brings a two-way game strategy from playing in Czechia, though he needs to refine his skating and physical skills for the next level. His developmental journey will be something to watch closely. Fourth round, 116th overall, Samuel Milosh, goaltender, QMJHL. The Sabres opted for their second goaltender selection at this point, bringing in Milosh at 6'2". Buffalo Sabres Power Rankings, 2025-26 Atlantic Division highlights. Imagine a hockey season where the Buffalo Sabres find themselves struggling to climb the ranks, despite a summer that saw little change to their roster. This is exactly the scenario unfolding as we look at the early NHL Atlantic Division Power Rankings, leaving fans wondering where the Sabres stand. The Sabres didn't receive much external assistance this summer. While the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers, managed to keep most of their winning squad intact, many other teams in the Atlantic Division have significantly bolstered their rosters during the offseason. Buffalo's general manager, Kevin Adams, did make some noteworthy moves, bringing in players like Josh Doan, Michael Kesselring, Connor Timmins, and Alex Lyon. However, these additions aren't expected to drastically alter the Sabres' performance in the 2025-26 season. At least, not immediately. As you might expect, the Florida Panthers sit comfortably at the top of the initial divisional power rankings. But here's where it gets controversial. The debate really heats up when you look at the rest of the Atlantic Division. 1. Florida Panthers. Just when other teams thought the Panthers might lose steam due to key departures, Florida secured the return of Sam Bennett, Aaron Ekblad, and Brad Marchand within a 4-day span leading up to free agency. The Panthers might coast through the regular season, but their roster is built for playoff success. Until someone proves otherwise, they remain the team to beat. 2. Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning had a relatively quiet summer, which isn't surprising given their already stellar roster and limited financial wiggle room. Their signing of Pontus Holmberg previously non-tendered by the Toronto Maple Leafs, was a shrewd move. Holmberg's defensive prowess could strengthen Tampa's lower lines. 3. Toronto Maple Leafs. Placing the Leafs in preseason rankings is tricky. Despite finishing atop the Atlantic Division last season with 108 points, their postseason failures often overshadow their regular season achievements. This year adds another layer of uncertainty with the departure of Mitch Marner, traded to the Vegas Golden Knights. While they haven't replaced his star power, a more balanced lineup might serve them well in the long run. 4. Ottawa Senators. The Senators have shown strong underlying metrics over the past 3 seasons, yet they've only made 1 playoff appearance. Their solid offseason, highlighted by acquiring defenseman Jordan Spence from the Los Angeles Kings, gives them a sleeping giant vibe. They could easily break into the top 3 in the Atlantic this season. 5. Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens surged late in the season to make the playoffs, but finished with a -20 goal differential, indicating they weren't quite ready to contend. Trading for Noah Dobson was a significant step forward. However, Montreal's season will largely depend on their goaltending, with the trio of Sam Montembeault, Kaapo Kakkonen, and Jakub Dobsk needing a standout performer. 6. Buffalo Sabres. This ranking seems fair for the Sabres, but their lack of organizational depth, particularly on defense, could become a critical issue if injuries occur. Goaltending remains a wild card, with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen coming off a dismal season, and the potential contributions of Alex Lyon and Devin Levi uncertain. 7. Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings showed promise last season, narrowly missing the playoffs after a strong finish. A more active offseason could have generated more excitement. But GM Steve Yzerman kept things relatively quiet. The performance of goalie John Gibson and the addition of James Van Riemsdyk and Mason Appleton doesn't significantly shift the needle. 8. Boston Bruins. The Bruins are looking to the future with their 7th overall pick, James Higgins, who'd excelled at Boston College. Rebuilding will likely take several years, and it'll be intriguing to see if the Bruins opt for a full-scale roster overhaul if they are out of playoff contention by the trade deadline. What do you think? Are the Sabres in a position to surprise, or will the Panthers continue their dominance? Share your thoughts in the comments below.